Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kayfabe Central podcast and another edition of the Headlines in Pro Wrestling this week, where we go over all the latest news, gossip, drama in the world of professional wrestling. I'm your host, Josh. As always, joining me is Ruan Wrestling.
Hey guys.
We're going to go over some of the things that happened in the past week, some things that have been going on for a couple weeks that have recently spiked again. And so we're going to be going over that. Um, yeah, we got some TV stuff to talk about as well. So some pretty cool things. I'm gonna start the podcast off. I was telling you just now a little bit of lighthearted. I didn't tell him what it is, so because I want his genuine reaction for when I bring it up. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. Before we do, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Subscribe to the Kayfabe Central Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. Check out the Kayfabe Central Discord server if you want a place to chat it up about wrestling. The Discord server is the place for you. We also have a non-wrestling server, so if you want to talk about anything else that's not wrestling, feel free to and join up that Discord server as well. Check out the Kayfabe Central website. That's where I post all my coverage posts, written predictions, articles, all that good stuff. My Halloween Havoc coverage post is not up yet. I don't even know what time the pre-show starts actually. I
Uh,
think like 6.
NXT, are they 2 or are they 1 hour pre-shows? I can't even remember.
Usually it's 1, but there's the
One.
occasional time they'll do the 2 hour no sense pre-show. Um, Let me see if they have it up on YouTube for when the countdown starts. Because yeah, they mix it up a lot of the time. Um, that's 2024. Okay, so yeah, it starts at 6 o'clock. So 1 hour pre-show, which
Yeah,
not terrible.
not
Um,
bad.
I still feel like you could throw something on a pre-show even if it's 1 hour.
Well, AEW manages to fit about 3 matches into their pre-show whilst also giving analysis. I've no idea how they do that, but WWE
Yeah,
knows.
so I I figured out last pay-per-view because I remember for Wrestle Dream I was confused as if the Saturday Tailgate Brawl was replacing the countdown. Not the case because they did the countdown where they do the panel and analysis on YouTube, and the Tailgate Brawl is just for TNT. So um I guess the countdown is technically supposed to be for the international audience, and the tailgate brawl is supposed to be for TNT, the American audience.
Yeah,
I watched the tailgate brawl instead because I I didn't
good.
think anything was gonna happen on the countdown except for them talking. I did see a pretty cool clip though from that countdown where Renee was talking about the I Quit match between Moxley and Darby Allin, and she was just going off.
It was. I actually know. I actually messaged in our group chat at that point. I was like, "Is Renee shooting your question mark?" I was like, "I was
Oh,
like, I don't."
right.
That was that one. 'Cause I was watching. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, so at that point when you sent that message, I was still confused. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't see Renee on my screen. And then I realized I was like, oh, there's doing two different things. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense. Um, but yeah, that is that. So we're gonna get into the headlines of the week. So the lighthearted thing I wanted to start off with, and I don't know if you heard about this, but
Oh God.
Omos has started a fragrance brand. Um, and I wanted to ask you, Rue, what do you think Omos smells like?
Okay, so I know he has a fragrance brand, but that is not a question I've ever thought about. I imagine he smells very, very nice.
I would imagine so. Because if you have a fragrance brand, you probably smell very good. We obviously know the guy hasn't been on WWE television recently. But yeah, I mean, good for him if this is something he wanted to do. Rue, are you a fragrance type of person?
I think I've had the same like fragrance since I was at university that I've had been given the Christmas presents every year. I occasionally spray it on. So can't say it's my wheelhouse.
See, for me, I like barely leave my house. So, because I just like being at home a lot of the time. But if I'm going somewhere where it's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
an occasion where I need to dress up or something like that, then yeah, I'll put on like some cologne or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not someone who like is very specific on the type of cologne or deodorant that I wear. I do not wear Axe deodorant. I think that is the most overrated deodorant that you can use. Um, but yeah, on the occasional time, I'll put on some like cologne or something like that. Um, yeah, I imagine Omos smells pretty good.
It is a very random thing. I had heard from other weird wrestling world news. I knew he'd started a fragrance brand, but it's just a random thing. But I guess whilst you're doing nothing, why not? It's absolutely disgusting. And like honestly, the fact that he is doing nothing almost is like so good as a character.
Yeah. And he just like for a guy that's as tall as he is, he just seems like the most friendliest human
Oh my
being
God.
ever.
Yeah. Like, did you watch it? I don't know if you watch it or not. But I don't actually watch the show, but I did watch this one specifically. His um, what's it called again? Undertaker's podcast, whatever it's called again, 60 Under.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I watched almost on that, and he's just I just said the nicest guy, and I also watched his one on Chris Van Vliet, and he's just such a sweet guy.
Yeah. And
His
like
laugh's amazing as well.
yeah. And like looking at him, you would be like, "Holy shit, that's a scary guy." And then he starts speaking, and you're like, "Oh,
He's
I the
yeah.
friendliest guy." Uh,
Exactly. He could definitely do it. There's like so many roles that he could fill and do an amazing job at it. So I don't know what WWE are doing.
yeah, I don't like even if you wanted to put him in like the um big cast role with somebody
Yeah,
who's not that very like serious, I think he could do perfect in that.
almost and Lexus King together.
You know what? Give me an Omos and R-Truth tag team.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, if they're doing absolute nothing with him, and they've brought Artriff back to do absolute nothing with him, apart from bring him back to Artriff from Ron Killing. So sorry, yeah, almost an Artriff. That's a combo I want.
Yeah, I would love to see that. That'd be hilarious. I remember the one TikTok video that those two did, whereas like R-Truth was stealing Omos's money while he had the sunglasses on, thinking he was asleep. And R-Truth lifts Omos's sunglasses and he's wide awake. So he puts the money back.
I've not even seen this, and I can just picture it like perfectly in my head with how good the Artriff and Dudes almost are.
It was hilarious. It's a video I've watched on replay so many times. Um, Even the one that R-Truth did recently with Tiffany Stratton, I don't know why I find that so cool.
Right,
Uh,
I need to get on Artriff's TikTok apparently.
yeah, I think Tiffany Stratton posted on
Oh,
hers.
did you okay?
Um, but yeah, some of the TikToks that R-Truth does is just hilarious, and it's
I
like
can imagine.
you wouldn't think that like I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. You wouldn't think like R-Truth and Tiffany Stratton are two people that are good friends. And so it's like you see that, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, it's just kind of throws you off. I feel like Truth's just one of those guys that just no one backstage dislikes.
yeah,
Like, I mean, everyone just loves him, so he's just friends with everyone.
yeah, exactly. Um, so we're gonna move on to something a little bit more serious and a little bit more ranty. Um, Apparently, there's been reports that say ESPN is losing hundreds of millions on the WWE deal, but there's also reports saying that they're not.
Oh,
So I have no idea, and this has been the case with WWE for so many deals that they've done, where it's we're losing money, but we're not gonna tell people that we're losing money. We're gonna make it seem as though we're getting a lot of revenue and a lot of attraction, and we're just not gonna let the public know that we're actually kind of struggling. I can see that being the case with this ESPN deal. Um, because we've talked about this whole ESPN thing before, with WWE, how they've been giving them little kicks in the ass with WrestlePalooza and Crown Jewel. Um, I I don't know how long this is going to work with ESPN and WWE because ESPN, they want the best product possible. They want what the crowd wants, right? If their fans are happy, ESPN is happy. And as someone who wants to potentially work at ESPN in the future, I pay a lot of attention to what they do and how they carry themselves. And they care about their audience. And like there's the rare time where like okay, they just did this for themselves. Not rare time. They do it pretty often. But a lot of the time they cater to the audience, right? They have like Ru, I know you're not very familiar with Stephen A. Smith. I've brought him up
Yeah.
before. But he does his own show where he has, people call in and they give their opinions. So they're very fan based. Um TKO is not. So I don't know how this is going to work in the long run because you have TKO who's just looking at spreadsheets and they're only seeing the merch sales. So where they're like, oh, Jey Uso's merch is going up. He should be the next world heavyweight champion. Um, Whereas ESPN is looking and they're listening to um the fans and they're like, this is not good product. So there's a lot of things going on, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they are losing money on this deal.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So I didn't know any of this. And as you pointed out, I'm not going to sit and pretend like I know anything about ESPN, at all. But so everything I'm about to say here, guys, take with just a pinch of salt. Um, but I would have imagined surely. I mean, it's kind of mental when you first hear that they're losing money because it's like, how have you seen those goddamn ticket prices?
Yeah.
Um, but I would have imagined that ESPN like they like own WWE's ass, surely. Um, so even if WWE want to go one direction, as you've said, surely ESPN can kind of just be like, No, we can't." I mean, again, I don't know who made this decision or where it came from, but we may or may not have seen that with Crown Jewel, with the whole John Cena and AJ Styles thing. Because that's not something they've done the entirety of John Cena's retirement tour. They not once has he been like, I want this person to wrestle. Um, and they were like, yeah, sure, let's do it. It's just not how it's played. And all of a sudden, after the just travesty that was WrestlePalooza and ESPN's own reviews on it, as you said, the fans went, we want AJ Styles. John Cena went, I think you want AJ Styles. Then Triple H pretended that that's what they were going to do all along. But so yeah, it's a very interesting one. Definitely, as you said, I'm sure the relationship is currently a bit of a rocky. It definitely got off to a rocky start. So yeah, I guess we'll just keep waiting and seeing, but like what comes of it. But it is an interesting one.
Yeah, and like I was talking about this with a friend of mine and he was saying that ESPN should just like pull away from this and they technically can't because it's a contract.
Yeah,
I don't know how long the contract is for, but even if ESPN wanted to, they can't, and there would be a lot of like legal stuff to go into that.
yeah,
Especially knowing WWE and TKO, they're gonna be like, no, we want to stick with ESPN. Um, and another thing um that I believe is going into them losing money potentially is their fucking prices on ESPN Plus.
oh my
Now,
god,
this
imagine
doesn't affect us because we're international.
we are
Um,
better.
yeah, we get it on Netflix, which is so much better.
Oh yeah,
Um, because you have to pay for the ESPN Plus subscription, and then on top of that, pay an extra like 30 whatever for the PLEs. Not to mention, this is for the American audience. That's not all because you also need Peacock for the NXT PLEs and the Saturday night's main events. But that's not all because you need cable for SmackDown. And then you need Netflix for Monday Night Raw. Like, you can't expect people to pull out all of this money to invest in so many different things that you have. And which is why it's so much better for international audiences. But you should be catering a little bit more to your US audience because that's where you mainly run shows anyway. Um, so that's just a really shitty thing, and we've talked about it so many times on this podcast how we honestly just believe that TKO is money hungry and they are going to end up ruining the company. Because let's be honest, these corporations, companies are evil, and um the only thing that they see is money. They don't care about the audience or anything along those lines. Um, and if you guys think ESPN is the only ones doing this, HBO Max is also raising their prices for their subscriptions, and HBO Max is a similar thing. So like AEW is not out of this either. It's not like, oh, okay, you can just go over to AEW and you'll be fine because that's not the case. You have to do the similar thing with HBO Max. You get the subscription and then you pay extra on top to pay for the PLEs. With international, Ru, I don't know if do you use Triller for the
I
AEW?
do.
Okay.
Yes. Oh
So,
wait, actually no. I used to. Sorry, I take that back. I used to. I now use Amazon.
oh, okay. But like I know for Triller, like when you get the subscription, you get and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you get a discount on the AEW pay-per-views.
Yes, that's correct.
So that is so much better. And I
Yep.
don't understand why and why they're going about this route. And I want to rant about HBO Max for a second because I fucking hate this company with every grain of my soul because they've went from HBO to HBO Max to having, partnerships with like Warner Bros. And all these people to not having partnerships with them. And now, once upon a time, HBO Max, HBO, whatever the hell do you want to call them, had some really great movies on there. And I like I've seen Netflix doing the same thing. They're taking off so
Oh,
much
it
of what
pisses me off.
they're taking so much good content off of HBO Max, and I'm Canadian. Once again, like this is for the American audience. Um, they are taking so much good content off of HBO Max, of Netflix, and it's like, okay, you're taking all this off and replacing it with, shitty movies. Um, like you even like look at Tubi, and I know Tubi is free. But like you look at the movies on Tubi, and like obviously that's for like Evolve in terms of wrestling. Um, and you have like so much stupid shit. Like Trick Williams was on a Tubi movie recently. Um, and that just looked terrible. Like I saw this one like this description of a Tubi movie, and it had to do with like trafficking and this Christian family, and I'm like, how does this even correlate? And you are taking away so much things that people enjoy and replacing it with shit. So no wonder nobody is going to subscribe to your platform because you're just producing garbage. Um, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's greedy. So for anybody who may think that I only bash on WWE and TKO. No, AEW is not safe either because they are with HBO Max. And um, I honestly don't know how long HBO Max is going to be around. I can see them just completely vanishing in a few years' time or being bought by somebody. Um, like I think like the Paramount is gonna buy like a DC, and like Warner Bros. And stuff like that. Um, and it's like everything is gonna be owned by something at some point in time. Um, but yeah, that's my little rant. I can't stand these increase in prices because even over here in Canada, um, the prices for the AEW pay-per-views are ridiculous. Um, I usually go on pay-per-view.com to get the pay-per-views. And that for like the pay-per-views is like 50 something dollars, which is ridiculous. And if you expect people to um and like even to watch the weekly shows, if you can't watch it on cable, which you need to have for Dynamite, um you have to pay a subscription for TSN to watch the weekly shows. And then you don't even get the pay-per-views on TSN, so you got to go over to like pay-per-view.com or something like that. It's just a whole mess.
Oh, I guess like I'll just keep it to the wrestling part because that's the bit I actually know about. I am so glad that I'm not only am I international, but specifically coming from the UK. Like we have it good over here, so like I don't, there's literally no reason for us to complain. As you said, like we get everything in WWE on Netflix. I know you do as well. So I pay, oh, what do I pay? I think it's either 10 or 12.99 a month, and that gets me everything for WWE, which is lovely. And then AEW, their pay-per-views, I buy them on Amazon Prime, and they are well, I don't they kind of range, and over the months have actually been getting cheaper and cheaper for us over here. So Wrestle Dream just gone there cost me 15.99, which is had a quick look in Canadian dollars, that's just under $30. Um so it gets less and less each time, which I do find really funny as well. If anyone ever it gets annoyed being like, oh, like you like love you're a WWE loyalist and you don't like AEW. I pay more for like AEW each month pretty much than WWE, to be truly honest. It's quite funny. Um, but I think at the heart of it, as you said, it's absolutely insane because I think I seen a breakdown somewhere. I said to watch every just WWE program, never mind as you said, if you wanted to watch AEW, TNA as well. I think just WWE program, it's something like $100 a month in the US, which is just mental because that was always the thing with wrestling. Like it was meant to be affordable for everyone. And it sucks that it's kind of getting to that point where it's just not even for just standard like prices as we talked about for going to a show. Like people in normal jobs can't afford to go to these. It's absolutely insane. It's only the like it's getting to a point where wrestling, particularly if you're watching WWE, has almost become like an upper class sport, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And like that's a great point because like initially WWE had announced their holiday tour, their annual holiday tour here in Toronto, at the Coca-Cola Coliseum. They took that off pretty quickly because nobody was buying those expensive ass tickets.
Damn.
Because I remember my mom told me about it, and like a few days later, I went on Ticketmaster and it was gone. And they announced a holiday tour, and Toronto was not on there. That's because like Toronto, especially, and like if there's any other Canadians listening to this, like they would know the market here is garbage, right? Like Ru said, there's a lot of people who aren't making that much money. Like $150 a month is insane. That's more than a lot of people with like regular 9 to 5 jobs make.
Hmm?
And it's absolutely ridiculous. And if it's not that, that's like more than half their paycheck.
It
And
is.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, especially when you're looking at like now going out to WrestleMania, it's become a point where like if you want to go WrestleMania, it's the equivalent of going on like a family holiday now. You have to. It's either we go on holiday or we go to WrestleMania. That's the way it is because of how. And this is just to get like the cheap ass tickets up the back. I mean, you look at the ones for John Cena's retirement tour. And it's like I get it, I get the spectacle, but like charging what was it like $11,000 for a front row seat?
Yeah,
Like,
ridiculous.
that's it's mental. And even over here, like I made a TikTok about this when they first announced the European tour, sorry, just after Christmas, being like, I want to go to the WWE live event in Glasgow or WWE whatever live show anyway. And I was just because I was maybe being a bit naive because I was like, man, I really want to go. Um, I never go to these shows anymore. Blah blah blah. I've not been to one in years. I really want to go. And actually, like, I mean, thinking about it, the tickets come out on Halloween actually next Friday. I'm gonna go on and have a look, but I am not paying 200 quid a ticket to go to it. And like we've spoke to folk, won't say who, but we've spoken to folk who said they went to the live events recently, and it was about that, and it was for nosebleed seats.
Yep.
I'm not paying that. I'm not paying that. And I've always said this, like I've got three things in life that like make me like incredibly happy. I've got my girlfriend, I've got my rabbit, and wrestling. But the fact is, I'm still an adult. I still have responsibilities and all that, and I'm not going to put us in debt or put us in jeopardy just to go see a pissing WWE show. I'm not forking out 200 quid for a ticket for that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And like it's happening all over, not even with just the WWE. Like the Blue Jays are in the World Series right now. I want to fucking go to Rogers Center and watch the Blue Jays. I haven't watched baseball all year, but I am a diehard Blue Jays fan and I would love to go and see them in the World Series. And I look at ticket prices and the ticket prices say, "Nope, you're watching it at home on Sports." Because like the cheapest ticket I found, and I'm talking in like the 500s, is like 1,000 per ticket. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
That's mental.
there's people who have never been to these live events before and would love the chance to go to a Blue Jays game, even if they are sitting in the 500 section, just to be in that atmosphere. But you're charging like more than what people make in a month just for
Yep.
tickets.
It's absolutely insane, and a similar one that we had on the kind of extra rant with what WWE does, which really I didn't know this was a thing until they came over here for Clash in Glasgow, um to because I really wanted to go to that. Is WWE doing those you have to buy combo tickets bullshit? So you have to buy it for SmackDown and the pay-per-view, or pay-per-view and Raw, whatever. And that's what they were doing over here when they first came to the Hydro in Glasgow for Clash in Glasgow. SmackDown was in the Hydro, and then the next night was Clash, and you could only buy combo tickets. That was it. And I remember we looked at the time, and to buy two, or just to buy a combo ticket, obviously. So for the one night, never mind, there's me and my girlfriend. Remember, you also there's two of us to get one ticket. Sorry, for pretty rubbish seats up the back. It was about 750, 800. I remember times that by two because there's two of us. Like that's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's insane. And like at that point, like if you're sitting up that high, there's really no point in going to
No,
the show
like
because you don't
it's
get a good
always
experience.
exactly like I will always like say and try like argue to folk, not argue, sorry, but like I would say to folk, go see wrestling live once if you can because it is a very different feeling, different atmosphere.
Yeah.
But you and me, we've been to plenty of wrestling shows as well, so it's like I know what I'm going to get, and not that doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. Like obviously I still love it, but I say I'm not going to pay that money to go and see that for somewhere else like I would just do what just be able to come to here and what I'm doing for the Scottish stuff. Like just go to like if you're able to just go to a local show. So much cheaper, so much better in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, that's our little rant about the prices of like everything now. It's ridiculous, but especially when it comes to wrestling, which is what this podcast is about.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Um, I I don't even have a transition for this, but Charles Manson wanted to meet Bray Wyatt.
What the?
So,
I did see this. I just love that. I love that. I don't have a transition. F it. Charles Manson.
yeah, so Charles Manson apparently wanted to meet Bray Wyatt because a person that knew Bray Wyatt personally was became a security or like prison guard in the prison that Charles Manson is in. And apparently um he overheard or was told directly, I can't remember which it was, but that he wanted to meet Bray Wyatt. Now, I don't know if this is a compliment um from someone like um Charles Manson um because like I understand why if WWE heard about this why they never did this because that's not something you want to broadcast. Um in the grand scheme of things, I ultimately wouldn't put it past them.
I was gonna say that.
It's probably something they would do. Um but like they could have done something like that didn't involve Charles Manson that was like I don't even want to say similar, but like a storyline that could have played into it a little bit. Um,
Just recreate Charles Manson. Why not?
I don't know. That's something they probably would have done. Um, but I found this really interesting because I was very confused. I'm like, is this a compliment or is this just like very weird?
Yeah, I know. I seen it as well. I guess now I might be misremembering here, so I'm sure someone can tell me shop, it's fine. Um, wasn't the original Bray Wyatt, so like NXT Bray Wyatt, was he not majorly modeled off of Charles Manson?
Hmm.
Yes, okay, I'm being correct. Okay. So at
Yep.
least that makes sense, and it wasn't just a case of he wanted to meet Bill Bray,
Yeah.
and Bray's like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't have put it past WWE, and I'm sure multiple PR, like, see, especially like at that point, because obviously Big Vinnie Mac was in charge at the time.
Yeah.
I would not have put him past, like, yes, money, but and it makes great TV. And then some slash a lot of PR personnel probably stood in front of him and were like, "No, you can't do that." Not that that's really stopped him in the past, but whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a very interesting one, and as you said, I can't work out if that's a compliment or not. I think so. I
I
think it's
guess because it means Wyatt did his job.
yeah,
Uh,
he was good at it.
yeah, I'm someone who believes that Bray Wyatt was really good up until The Fiend. Um, I didn't really like the Fiend character. Um, that may be a hot take, but like I feel like especially Bray Wyatt is somebody because you have the rare talent that they don't need a world championship.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Um, and I think Bray Wyatt was one of those talents. And I think
Hun,
having him in like world title feuds or having him more in the
yep,
world title and then transition to the Fiend kind of, like, ruined Bray Wyatt a little bit.
yep.
Um, but that's
I
just like a little side note.
I like absolutely. So we can always should do a podcast on this. I a million percent agree with that. By the way, just because I loved the Fiend when it first started, but the issue for me and is what you just brought up there was when he got put in the world title photo, or photo. So what am I the world title picture? The world title picture because I said it really corners them in because at some point he has to lose that. And reality is he shouldn't. It's the same with not American Badass, but Undead Undertaker. Like it was so much more of a spectacle I found and more interesting in character wise and for me as a fan in the match when it wasn't for the world title.
Yeah.
It made so much more sense. And yes, I totally agree. Like, because why should the Fiend care about carrying this little belt around his waist? Like
Yeah.
that makes no sense. So I actually a million percent agree with that. So whilst maybe it's a hot take, I think the reason behind it is the exact reason like why it started to turn for me. Because again, I maybe a slight difference said I did love the Fiend at the beginning. But yeah, and then obviously everything with Goldberg. Goldberg just ruins everything.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, like the Undertaker's another great example.
Yep.
Like the Dead Man Undertaker specifically, I don't think needed a world championship at all.
Yep.
The American Badass, sure, you could put a world title on him because that's completely different. That's like almost him as a person.
Yep.
Um, I like he explained recently on a podcast why he transitioned to the American Badass. It was because in that Attitude Era, when you're going head to head with people like Rock and Stone Cold on the mic, and um The Rock calls you like a tall bitch or something like that, the only thing for the Dead Man Undertaker to do is choke slam him, and a lot of times that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So he was saying that's why he went to Vince and he was like, we need to change something here, which I understand completely. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with it. Yeah, it just really calms them. Like for instance, I know it may be a bit harder for folk to see it when it's like a legend like the Undertaker or like Bray Wyatt. But like for instance, take like the Boogeyman, and I only bring him up because of that video I seen yesterday, which was really funny. Shout out by the way, Boogeyman and Jacob Fatu, great tag team. They were so funny in that video. But like, if the Boogeyman, not even a world title, why would the Boogeyman care about a title? What does he have to care about with the IC belt or the US Championship? It makes zero sense because it's to do with the guy. It's got nothing to do. I don't know. So I'm with you. I think the Fiend and Undertaker fall into that.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, that's our little of course we like transitioned away from Charles Manson because why wouldn't we? Um, so I can't remember if we brought this up last week on the headlines. Um, but Ilya Dragunov obviously won the United States Championship on SmackDown. What a transition that was, by the way. Just from Charles Betts to Ilya
Yeah, you're gonna
Dragunov.
have to clip that by the way and just put it on TikTok to promote the podcast. Just go. Um. Anyway, transition. Charles Manson.
I should. I definitely should. Um, yeah, it'll definitely get him a lot more clicks because people are just sick. Um, yeah, so Dragunov obviously won the United States Championship. I don't know. Do you remember if we talked about this last week?
What just in general that it returned or is there a specific
Yeah,
story?
that he returned and won the US title.
I imagine we would have. This is how great we are. We can't even remember a week ago on the own podcast.
I know. Um, Either way, he won it. I was very concerned about him as US champion, because I wasn't sure if the open challenges would continue and then he'd just fall into the Shinsuke Nakamura realm of things. But he is continuing the open challenges. We saw it last night on SmackDown where Aleister Black answered the challenge. Ilya beat Black with help from Damian Priest.
You
Um,
jinxed it.
yeah, I did. If you were in the live last night, I said I hope that Damian Priest doesn't interrupt this and that feud is over with. Obviously not, because Priest came out, ruined the match. Zelina Vega jumped on him. Um, I brought this up on the live that I think that Lola Vice is going to be called up to the main roster to help Damian Priest with Zelina Vega. Um, I think that would be a pretty cool like first thing for her to do on the main roster, put her in a pretty decent spotlight with those three. Um so yeah, I can definitely see them going that route. Um Going back to Ilya though, I'm glad they're doing this. I think that the US title right now is in the spot it should be. I think just use this as like a TV title. Have it defended every week, and just have Ilya put on banger matches because that's how people are gonna fall in love with him that don't know him very well. Like we brought it up, like Stu didn't know much about Ilya Dragunov, and like people like Stu, if they see Ilya week after week putting on banger matches, be like, oh shit, okay, this guy's the real deal. But if he was put into the Shinsuke Nakamura realm of things, a lot of people will be like, no, we don't really care.
Yeah, it kind of obviously I understand why not every single match on a card should be booked as an open challenge, but it's a smart idea because it's a formula that's been tried and tested in the past. We've seen it with John Cena, and it just works, and we've seen it recently with like you think, man. remember was that first night? Now, granted, it was just I can't remember was it if they were in Chicago, if they were in Detroit, maybe, but like the first night after Sami Zayn won that US title, he came out and he was like public enemy number one,
Yeah.
and then from there he's just been putting on but even like as I laugh at, I just laugh at it because it's funny to see his hatred. But when you did Wrestling Geezers podcast, he fucking hates Sami Zayn. But even he was like, nah. To be fair, the Open Challenge is like the best thing about SmackDown right now, and it is, and it makes sense if they don't have a storyline going forward with Ilya, especially someone like Ilya, like as we said, like the guy. I made the joke last night in the live, sorry, that he doesn't understand the term commercial break because
Yeah.
he just doesn't stop. He just goes and goes and goes, and he just can't have a bad match. He's so good. So for someone like Ilya, if they didn't have a storyline for him and they just kept him backstage, like it's a waste anyway. But one extra waste of talent. Whereas if they don't have a storyline, you put him in this US Open Challenge, which in itself is a storyline, until you finally get something that you can pull the trigger on, whether that be someone like OFMA or whoever coming up.
Yeah.
You do that, and then that gives him a feud from there. And whilst, as you said, still being on TV, still being shown off to the audience, they still know who he is, and they'll get a bang match out of it as well. So I'm very happy they're keeping it.
Now, Sami Zayn is someone I wanted to talk about during this segment because there's still people in the crowd who do not care for Sami Zayn. And that is a problem when you want Sami Zayn to be your, one of your top baby faces. And I, as much as I love Sami Zayn, I understand where some of the crowd is coming from.
Yeah,
Um, because this is a guy that's supposed to be an underdog and should have been in a world title scene by now.
yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna use this to put him in a world title scene. The way I'm feeling right now and the way it looks, I would feel like Sami Zayn might need to turn, but I don't really think Sami Zayn as a heel works. Like there was the bloodline stuff and that was pretty fun. But other than that, I didn't really enjoy his heel work. He's much, much better as a babyface. And I don't know the direction that they take with him because we already have stuff going on with the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, and uh, God knows where they're going with the undisputed WWE title. Um, I don't know if they do a Sammy versus Cody thing or if they literally just keep Sami Zayn there for whatever reason.
yeah. I am very, very glad you said something there because I don't hear enough people saying this. In fact, I hear the opposite a lot of the time. But I'm in a total agreement with you. I do not like heel Sami Zayn. It does not work for me one bit. Like maybe again, and I've said it before a load of times. Maybe I'm slightly biased because of my love for NXT, or specifically NXT Black and Gold. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
Um, my love of just knowing. I always say, like I said it to Stu before on the pod here, because again, he's someone who's kind of came in and he's only just getting shown what's on TV of Sami Zayn for the last year or two, and as you said, what you've been shown by the booking is kind of shit, to be truly honest. That carrying cross feud was ridiculous. The outcome of that, like, it's done so much more harm for Sammy than he deserved. If they knew, especially if I know they didn't fully, but I just don't think Sammy was the right person to be in that spot because if they wanted to give him the win, it's just done more damage because it's just made people hate him even more than he already was getting hate from. And it's such a shame to see because Sami Zayn is someone who absolutely is world champion caliber and deserves it. A man who's been grinding for what 25 odd years or something now, almost.
Yeah.
He's an absolute legend. I love him. I want to see him as a world champion, but it's just the current booking of him within WWE. As you said, he's been told he's his ultimate underdog, but he's just not really because he does win most of the time and wins matches that he probably shouldn't. which is a shame. Again, it comes down to that booking. So yeah, it's a very weird situation. I don't know what they do with him. I mean, potentially like if they were to put the WWE Undisputed Championship on Drew, and they do Sammy and Drew, but I don't see Sammy winning that, to be truly honest, unless they manage to build him back up. I mean, I still think Sammy is a shoe-in, or at least a smart bet for the Rumble this year. Even if there isn't a real idea of a story coming out of it, for the simple fact of it being in Saudi Arabia, it's a first big rumble over there. I still think Sammy's a good shout for that. So maybe they do, but I don't know. It's a shame to see what's happened because Sami Zayn deserves so much more and so much more love from the crowd, or at least the online crowd. But as you said, I can understand completely where the frustration and the negativity towards him comes from. Yeah,
Yeah. The more weeks go by, and the more I see Sami Zayn week after week, and the way that WWE treats him, I'm just like, okay, he's just gonna be Dolph Ziggler.
yeah.
Um,
At least Dolph got a world title. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, exactly. And I can see them pulling the trigger on the world title later than we expected, much later.
Yeah,
With everything that's going on, they're not putting Sammy at the forefront because as of right now, there's no reason for Sami Zayn to be in the world title picture, and they did that to themselves.
yeah.
Um, you have so many things going on with both world title pictures. Not so much the undisputed WWE title. Obviously, you have Cody and Drew, and we don't know where that's gonna go afterwards. Um, but I don't see a world in where Cody Rhodes loses to Drew McIntyre. Or like Cody Rhodes is someone you go into a match and you automatically think that he's going to retain because I think we've spoken about this before too. They just seem very hesitant to have Cody Rhodes without a title. And I don't know how a babyface Sami Zayn and a babyface Cody Rhodes will work unless one of them turns. With the World Heavyweight Championship, you have a little bit of more components in there where you have Jay and Punk fighting for the title at Saturday night's main event. Should have been LA Knight, but whatever. You also have LA Knight in that picture. You have Seth Rollins eventually coming back at some point in time. Braun Breaker as well, who is probably going to be the end game for that World Heavyweight Championship. Um, there's so many different things, and Sami Zayn, it just seems like they're gonna use him to, win these mid card titles from time to time, and then, put on pretty decent matches. And it just seems like the crowd is tired of it. And that's not a good thing. If you want this guy to be world champion, you gotta, nobody cares for WrestleMania main eventer Sami Zayn because that's just playing into the fact what the entire IWC says and calling him Sammy Hogan. And yes, he dropped the title to Ilja Dragunov. Um, but if you keep on having Sami Zayn week after week, just in these matches, and then randomly beat somebody that he shouldn't beat, the crowd's not gonna like him. They're not gonna respond well. So, I think what they're doing with Sami Zayn is just terrible.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a shame to see the reaction because it's hard because like, when we sit here and we listen to other people, we listen to folk like Stu or like the wrestling geeks and they give their opinion, and it is just like oh man, like I wish you could have seen what I seen with Sami Zayn. Like, this guy is an absolute just monster, but in a good way, and he could absolutely be a world champion. However, I can't argue against their points because they're all true to them. Like it's absolutely true, and it's it's just the way it's all Donald's fault. I think the cross feud is. I mean, I think it was already getting there, particularly with everything that happened with Gunther at WrestleMania 40, and it just kind of slowly was taking over with time. But this cross feud, with how hot Cross was, um, and obviously there was all the speculation around. We didn't know if he was going to resign or not.
Yeah.
To have it come out, all that's happened from that feud is they lost Cross and Scarlett. They pissed off a lot of the WWE audience, and they made them turn even more on Sammy. No one's benefited from that feud at all. I guess maybe Cross and Scarlett because they get to go off and do their own thing,
Yeah.
which is funny because it said Sammy's went on to win the US title. So saying no one's benefited is maybe a bit harsh, but they've done. I will say they've done the right thing, I guess, with the US title and having Sami do the open challenges because at least got to just show off like what Sami Zayn's freaking good at, and that's wrestling. Um, but yeah, I do not buy him as a current main event audience. Again, it's really ironic. We seem to do this quite a lot. I don't know how it always happens. I have a video I'm going to be recording tomorrow that talks exactly about the issue surrounding the main event and whether or not Cody Rhodes should be turning heel. So
Hmm.
yeah, stay tuned for that. um, but yeah, I don't buy Sami Zayn in that main event, and that's what I mean. Like, I think Sami is a shoo-in for the Rumble, but with the current fanfare towards him, it might just again be worse for him to win that thing. Because again, as you said, I hate that anything Hogan, like Becky Hogan, Sammy Hogan, I
Yeah.
fucking hate that shit. But like, it will just add the fuel to that fire of there you go, won the Rumble now, of course. So we've seen it this year with Jay. Um, so I am worried for Sammy. Let's just hope Kevin gets better. We can have Kevin and Sammy back, and they can fight and put on a match of the
Yeah.
year contender. That's what he needs. He's missing Kevin.
Exactly. Um, it's so crazy too, like that you bring up like Sami Zayn from NXT Black and Gold because a few days ago I was watching back NXT Arrival in
Oh,
2014. And the start of that show was Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. Uh,
what a match!
yeah, fantastic match. This was before Sami Zayn even had his current theme song, and he just had generic ass music. Um,
Generico music. I'm
exactly.
sorry.
Um, and like even from there, you could see like, oh man, this guy he can be a world champion. Like
Yeah.
just the way him and Cesaro worked in that ring and the way like Sammy sold that he was done, but he kept on fighting. That's the Sami Zayn that Rue is talking about. That's the Sami Zayn that we
Yeah.
all want to see. Not the conspiracy theorist Sami Zayn,
Ugh, I
not
hated
the
that.
um bloodline Sami Zayn, not the Sami Zayn that beats everybody that he's not supposed to. Um, we want that underdog Sami Zayn. And because that's where Sami Zayn is at his absolute best. He
Yep.
makes everybody believe that he is going to lose that match. And wrestling 101 as a babyface, take it for someone who played a babyface and got his ass whooped for a whole year. You need to make it seem like um you are going to lose that match, that you have no chance whatsoever. And um like even with the Gunther match for the IC title, I still believe that Gunther should have retained that match,
Yeah.
but um you had Sami Zayn play it so well that you thought that Gunther was gonna retain. You're like, there's
Mm-hmm.
no way Sami Zayn comes back from this, and then he did. That's the Sami Zayn we all love, and that's the Sami Zayn we all want to see.
Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah. Um, Transitioning from that though, some other WWE contractual stuff. So we've spoken a lot about the Andrade situation over the past few weeks. With him leaving the WWE, getting released from the WWE, due to wellness policy, showing up in AEW, but then he wasn't on AEW TV, so everyone was confused. And then we found out that he has a 1 year no compete. Now there has been talks around the lucha circuit, Mexican circuit, that they are issuing this 1 year no compete for to bring Andrade back to the WWE. What? Why didn't you like why what was the point in letting him go if you were just gonna want to bring him back? And this is the most petty thing I have ever seen because I think if Andrade had not gone straight to AEW, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Um, so apparently it just seems like they want Andrade to come back and finish the rest of his time in WWE. Because they don't want to um I guess pay him when he's not there. Even though that's part of the contract and part of the 1 year no compete. Um, I find this absolutely ridiculous, and it just goes into what we say all the time on this podcast. It's fuck TKO because it's absolutely ridiculous. And like even with some of these other releases, like you look at someone like Zeta Steel, who like she walked out on her own will, and good for her. I think she's someone that can actually be a star in the future, and I think WWE would have been a perfect place for her, and she could have played a really good role. Like she has good mic skills, good in-ring skills. Like I'd say even like better than some people on the main roster. Like you couldn't keep someone like her around. I find like shit like this just so ridiculous, and just let the guy go. Like you let him go, leave it at that.
So before I say what I'm going to say, it's not funny. It's not. It's fucking petty bollocks and it's stupid. However, I'm past the stage of caring, and I just want to say, F it, do it. It'll be funny. Because bring him back and put like the IC belt on him or something. Because just how funny will that be that he peeled in AEW for one night, then all of a sudden he's like a champion WWE a month later. I think it would be the funniest shit in the planet, and I've given up even being surprised by WWE now. So I'm just like, you know what, do it. It'll be funny. But no, it is ridiculous. The length of these no competes alone, I think is crazy. Like 1 years, and I don't know if it's something you've got written down or not to talk about. But did you see all the stuff with Samantha Irvin as well?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
That's
that
ridiculous.
thing had a 2 year non compete for a non in ring talent is mental. I mean, 2 years in general is mental. Doesn't matter who you are. 1 year is crazy. Yeah, I think this is again, it's just WWE being petty. And again, I'm not even just petty. I think it's an indication that they are scared. They are worried about AEW. They are worried about losing that talent to them because they know that's where they're going to go. Um, I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, part of me just wants to say sorry and just have Andrade back. F it, put the world title on him. That'll be even funnier. Do it.
And like another person, like I don't have this written down, but like we're talking about like contractual stuff. Santos Escobar is another person.
Oh yeah.
Like you had that he had left the WWE because his contract was up, and then a day later he was back in the WWE. We haven't seen him since. He's reported to be on Monday Night Raw soon. So that's something we could see eventually. Um, I think he honestly, I was looking forward to him leaving the WWE to be honest, because they weren't doing anything with him. I would have preferred to see him succeed more in like AEW or something and have really good matches over there. Because I like Santos Escobar. Um, but yeah, this Andrade thing, man, is just such a headache and so unnecessarily confusing. Um, because you could have just let the guy go. You think that he's going to want to go back to the WWE after everything they've just pulled? I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, like it's not confirmed. That's the confirmed story, but like I wouldn't put it past WWE.
Absolutely not. And that's why I'm at the point of, actually, this is so ridiculous and just confusing where I've given up trying to make sense of it. So I'm like, let's just go with the most nonsensical bollocks possible because that's the way they're going about it. But the bit that I find also wild from both parties, so I guess actually from all three parties, from WWE, from AEW's legal team, and I guess Andrade must have his own representatives. How the F did no one find this in the small print, by the way? I feel I feel like this must have been quite a lot of detail. But yeah, it's a very messy situation, and it's I, I can't even say anything. I'm not even fully surprised by WWE anymore when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, and it's like I think every release superstar has the no compete, but rarely is it enforced. Like I mentioned, the only reason I think they enforced this is because he went straight to AEW. If he had gone to like TNA, I don't think that this would be a conversation. I think they would have been like, oh well, we don't care. He's not under us anymore. Let TNA have him. But like you said, they definitely see AEW as a threat because of things like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know, or at least I say no, I think I heard as well, which, as you pointed out, potentially if he'd gone somewhat other than AEW, maybe they wouldn't have cared as much. But I think it was the whole thing with because he wasn't released, he was filed for like a for wellness, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's why. So because of that, because as you said, like everyone has that kind of like 90 day or whatever it is, NXT is like 60 days. But because he was filed for a wellness policy violation, that in that then grants him the 1 year, which I still think is so ridiculous. Anyway, but as you said, would they have cared as much if he had gone like just anywhere else, or if he just gone to the Indies? Would they have cared as much? I mean, maybe it is WWE at the end of the day, then they are petty, but specifically showing up on AEW, I think they've extra been like, oh no, you're not doing that.
Yeah. Um, but that's that. That's the whole Andrade situation. Something else that happened recently that we of course don't enjoy talking about because it's obviously a very sad thing. WWE legend Bobby Horne, aka Sir Mo from Men on a Mission, has passed away at age 58. Now obviously I was born eras after Men on a Mission was a thing. Um, but obviously, like the wrestling nerd and geek that I am, I do my research and I watch all these old things. Um, he is not like I'm not gonna come on here and say like, oh man, like watching back old stuff, he was one of my favorites. But like he looked cool, he looked fun. Um, Apparently there was a lot of issues with like he had a lot of health issues, like he had COVID problems, kidney issues, and WWE just didn't bother helping out with that stuff. And like typical WWE, I don't even know if he's on contract with them. But like even still, like why wouldn't you help out someone that's worked with you before, and worked for you before, and that's like going through all this stuff? Um, Again, corporations are evil, companies are evil. Um, but yeah, this it's always unfortunate that when we have a passing and like like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of Mo, but like I said, he looked fun and it's always unfortunate when we have something like this. And 58 is still pretty young.
Yeah, also, I'm the same as you because we're both obviously I'm a little bit older, but we're roughly the same generation when it comes to watching stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm the same. So I didn't see many of them issue. And also, I've gone back and watched it. And as you said, they were cool, these two big guys. Um, but yeah, it's sad. It's always sad. With stuff like that, especially when you put out they say 50 is, that's younger than my dad, which is mental. Um, so
Yeah.
it's never a fun thing or a good thing to talk about. But yeah, typical WWE. I mean, they didn't do it for Mabel or Viscera either when his passing didn't. I didn't say anything either, so
Yeah.
not surprised, but it's just what happens with WWE. And yeah, best goes out to also his friends and family. Shit time, but yeah, they were fun. Actually, I'm not gonna say pretend like they were the greatest tag team of all time. They were. But they were good for the time, particularly in a time of gimmicks, and they stood out. These two big guys. Um, so yeah, no, it's a very sad time.
Yeah. Like people like my mom. or my mom's boyfriend would know a lot more about Men on
Yeah.
a Mission. Um, and like because they're from their generation. Um, but yeah, always unfortunate. Like we said, best wishes go out to the friends and family of Mo. Something else here that I kind of wish Stu was here for. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee won the World Tag Team Championships on Monday Night Raw. Did not really see this coming. I know I mentioned like part of me did because like I was like, okay, they might want to capitalize on the momentum and high from AJ Styles and John Cena. And I don't care whether the titles are on Judgment Day or not. I kind of like it better when they're not holding the tag titles. Once again, it was a nothing tag title reign. Um, I hope that they can do something fun with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. We've seen in the past that like random pairings for tag teams actually work out to be pretty good, more than the actual tag teams. So maybe this could be pretty fun. It's something for both of them to do. Um, and yeah, I know Stu was really happy. I saw his TikTok. He posted it like right after. And the funny thing with Stu is like he will wait like a day or two later to post like his Monday Night Raw recap. When this happened, it was up almost immediately. And I
Straight
was like,
away.
I was like, of course.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but yeah, hopefully they do something good with this tag team.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I was the same as you. I could see it happening and not happening at the same time. I was sort of swaying to the not happening side because it just felt like coming nowhere. But as you said, Judgment Day did nothing. I'd like Finn Balor and like JD McDonough, like two of the like best wrestlers ever to have two of the worst tag team title reigns ever.
Yeah.
like when they're allowed to, like we seen this match was amazing, and it's like we forget how good they are. And JD McDonough goes to my list. I think it was probably one of the most underrated wrestlers on WWE. I'm biased because I remember him from Jordan Devlin days on the UK Independence. And the guy is amazing. And Finn Balor's Finn Balor. But yeah, this new love story between Drew and Dragon Lee is amazing to see because Dragon Lee, with the utmost respect, has done nothing apart from win the Speed title and occasionally team with Rey Mysterio. But
Yeah.
Stu's just fallen in love with him. I love Dragon Lee, and the guy is so talented. But just what's been presented to us, he's on at least on Raw anyway, a bit better off in NXT. He's done nothing, but just Stu's just fallen in love with him, and I love that so much. It's so cute. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, big shocker. However, I have to drop some devastating news, or at least of a devastating thought. First, because as you said, intrigued to see where this goes for the tag team, and I hope it does do well. But I don't really see where it could go, and unfortunately, the only way I at the minute could maybe see it going is them fairly quickly dropping those titles to unfortunately Los Americanos.
Oh God, yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, poor Stu.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even think of that because like I was thinking I'm like there's no tag teams really on Monday Night Raw. The New Day are not going to win those tag titles again. Um and like I didn't even think of Los Americanos because I just see them as like on the side and just
Yeah.
sidekicks for El Grande Americano. Um but yeah, that's very possible. Um and it's so crazy. Like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate versus Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. It's a great match.
When you write that on paper, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, but like no knowing WWE, they're gonna be like, okay, I want you guys to do like a 619 or like a Hurricanrana or a Tope con Hilo or something like that. And it's like that's not Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Like
No.
this would be so good if it was just Bate and Dunne versus Styles and Dragon Lee.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. It hurts my soul to see. I mean, I'll obviously, yes, I don't complain too much because I'm like, okay, I'm glad that at least being used. Same with Ludwig Kaiser, but oh man, if you just, as you said, if you just put it on paper, an AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Pete Dunne Tyler Bate match, that is a 20 like 17, 18 UK indie like dream match. Like you were like that is something that would have got 5 stars within the first 5 seconds by Big Meltzer over there. Like, but as you said, well, if they did it on Raw, it's just going to be I can just see them prancing about doing the little Americanos thing, and oh, it's going to hurt my soul.
Yeah. Now, this might aggravate Stu a little bit once he listens to this podcast.
Oh, no.
I have not fully gotten behind Dragon Lee yet. He's really good in the ring, but I feel like he's just missing something. I don't know what it is, but like he's so good in the ring, but I feel like he's missing something and I can't put my finger on what it is. Maybe it's a little bit more of an edge that he needs to his gimmick. I know they like when he came on the scene, they classified him as the next Rey Mysterio, and I fucking hate when they do that because like again, the expectations you put on people, like Ricky
Yeah.
Saint you brought up on the Halloween Havoc predictions, how they classified him as like the next Rock or Stone Cold. Stop classifying these people as the next legend. It doesn't do them any good, especially if you have no plans for them or like any big plans for them. It never works out. And maybe that's what kind of put the sour taste in my mouth from the start. Um, like I think, like I said, Dragon Lee is a fantastic wrestler. I like him a little bit more than his brother, who's also a great wrestler. But I think that Dragon Lee he's missing something.
Yeah, so this is maybe like my guess my hot take. Maybe is this? Am I telling you? Who knows? Um, I think luchadors. Obviously, when they're doing the crazy moves and it's all fun and games, but see if you want to get into a proper character-driven story, I think they're so much better when they're evil. I just think evil luchadors are so much more entertaining to watch. And I know I'm just being biased because I love Pentagon Dark, but
Yeah.
it's just got, like you said, Dragon, he's missing that edge. Well, if he had, if he was doing what Penta was doing when he was Pentagon Dark, just snapping people's fingers, and just that's something, it would add a little bit more there. Because as you said, like he's fantastic, but I am wary of what he does. Obviously, he's got something to do at the minute with AJ, and that's cool. The greatest tag team AJ Lee, as Punk points out in commentary. Um, but after that, and I should put that expectation on him being the next Rey Mysterio. They've done that with like loads of other people. It was first it was Sin Cara, then it was Kalisto. Um, and that's the other thing as well, because like you've seen the likes of Sin Cara, obviously now Mystical. It's like he is actually really good. Kalisto, I think, as well, was actually very, very good. But when you put that moniker on them and that expectation, again, as you said, we talked about it with Ricky Saints, it just starts to turn people and be like, well, they're not like them, so they're shit. So yeah, just let Dragon Lee be Dragon Lee and develop the character of Dragon Lee rather than having to be Rey Mysterio. I mean, we've seen it perfectly, and I think it's ironic talking about Rey Mysterio. The perfect example, I think, is Dom. Like at the beginning, it was just it's Rey Mysterio's son. He's
Yeah.
trying to be Rey. He's trying to be like Rey. Whereas now, like Dom, as of right now, popularity wise, surely has got to be way higher than Rey.
Yeah.
People love. He is like Dom Mysterio will forever now. Like he's already cemented his very very short legacy in WWE. He will not go down if he was to retire tomorrow because of some horrible injury. He doesn't go down as Rey Mysterio's son. He goes down as Dominic Mysterio, Dirty Dom,
Yep.
and he just let him go off and do that without putting that moniker on them.
Yeah. 100%. Um, yeah. I always hated it when they were like, oh, he's the next, this or whatever. And
Yeah.
like I think that, like, in my opinion, I think a lot of other people's opinion, that Rey Mysterio is the greatest luchador of all time.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the things that he did, you, as like humans, you can't like begin to even mirror, right? Because some of the
Oh
things that
yeah.
he did, like you watch his match at Halloween Havoc that year against Eddie Guerrero,
Oh Eddie. Oh,
one of the best fucking matches I have seen.
so good.
And like so much of the things, and like the good thing about that match is like they went from zero right to 100 and then back down to zero and then right
Yeah.
back to 100. And there's not a lot of people that can reciprocate that. Um,
Nope.
I think that Dragon Lee has the potential to. but he needs something, and I don't know what it is. He just needs something more to him.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I'm trying another great match. I think was it the oh God, am I going to get this wrong? SummerSlam '02 maybe? Is that Ray's match with Angle? That was the
I
'03
believe that was all too, yeah.
'02. Oh man, just comes out
Oh, so
of
good.
so good. Yeah, no, for me, I'm with you. Like, Ray, even though I was sitting there saying how much I like evil luchadors, Ray is, and this is very rare. I'm going to turn this into a rant about the IWC once again. Is particularly the younger IWC because I can say that now. Is I hate it now that they see and they watch Rey Mysterio and are like, oh, but that's the stuff we just see like the mid card of like Dynamite doing. Oh, he's not that good. And it's like, oh my god, see for the time, the shit that Ray was doing, we hadn't seen. It was so good. And then having to listen to folks saying that, oh, he's such an overrated luchador. Piss off. He's Rey Mysterio. Leave him alone. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Dragon Lee's just a little bit there. Listen, I love him as a wrestler. Just give him that little bit of something else. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a wee singles match between him and AJ as well. That thing will go off as well.
Yeah, 100%. Um, but yeah, that is everything we have for the headlines of the week. I don't know if there's anything else I didn't bring up that you wanted to talk about.
I'm trying to think. News of the week. This is what was happy to speak about the Andrade one because that was just funny. Nah, I can't think of any news. Was anything newsworthy come out of SmackDown last night? I think so.
No, I did the SmackDown post show last night and I gave my thoughts on SmackDown. I don't think it was a good episode. Um,
Uh, the AI
I
machine broke.
What happened?
The AI machine broke.
Oh.
They had to get Road Dogg back. That's why.
Oh man, that's another thing, man. Like it's so like this AI thing is just not gonna be good because like I'm someone who's used ChatGPT for like a few things and like I would if I can't brainstorm something and I need a list I like for my universe mode I will like I need a name for a tag team and I would go to ChatGPT. I'm like, okay, give me like 30 names for this tag team and like two of them would be good. And it's like, man, you really like a lot of time just can't rely on AI.
No, you can't.
Um, because it's not like in the grand scheme of things, AI is still fairly new. It's a new thing. Um, and it's not like you can't use it to book an entire weekly episodic television show. You just can't because it gives you answers based off the information you put into it. And if you don't put the right information, it'll give you stuff like, oh, Bobby Lashley being obsessed with Japanese wrestling. Like, what the fuck? It's so stupid. Um, but yeah, I didn't enjoy SmackDown last night. I think like um Ilya versus Aleister Black was the only positive I took away
Yeah,
from that episode. And again, we've mentioned it. The US Open challenges are the best thing about SmackDown.
yeah, definitely. Zelina and Alistair looked $1 million, which I love everyone on IWC complaining, oh, they're just trying to be Scarlett and Cross, but unfortunately they can actually wrestle. Just saying. Ah. No, yeah, I thought Zelina and Alistair looked like fantastic last night.
Yeah, and it's it's always a pleasure having Selena Vega on my screen. Um, but yeah, that looks great. Um, and I hope they do some big things with Black and Zelina. Um, of course, like you said, like the IWC is gonna find ways to complain about this. I've come across certain creators complaining about this still.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it took so long. It's happening. Just fucking enjoy it.
Oh, I
So
love it now.
what if
Like,
it took long? Like,
yeah, like it's like I said it to you last night. Like when you see it on screen now, it's like, man, why did they not do it sooner? But as you said, we've got it now, so I'm fucking happy.
yeah, exactly.
It's
Like,
so good. Um, but yeah, no, it's great. I do comment. I don't know if you'd seen it or not. The only reason I said it is because I literally just went on Twitter earlier just to see if anything. It was literally the top post was Goldberg being Goldberg again, and once again like trying for some reason talking shit about Asuka.
Oh, I did see this. So
Oh,
I saw Oscar's response very vaguely before we came on here, and for some reason I didn't put this on the notes. Yeah, like I said, just Goldberg being Goldberg again.
yeah,
Um,
like shut up, old man. Like,
like Oscar would wrestle circles and circles and circles around Goldberg if
oh
that
yeah,
was ever a match. Um, yeah, Oscar's
like
a far better wrestler.
it's the bollocks. Like, if he wants to find WWE being petty, and maybe they are being or had been, okay, whatever. That's his opinion, whatever. And we know what Goldberg's like. It's this bollocks of him being like they had some girl. How many times has that man made a return to WWE since 2016? He knows who Asuka is. He has been in the same goddamn room in locker room and in Gorilla with her, surely. Like, just have some fucking respect.
What happened to uplifting other wrestlers? Like what happened to that? What happened to being like, oh yeah, you know what? May not agree with her direction right now, but fuck it, she's killing it. What happened to that?
Well,
Like, what happened to
yeah.
just acknowledging someone's a good wrestler and be like, you know what? The direction may not be the best, but fantastic wrestler. Because there's no way you can watch an Oscar match and be like, ah, oh, nah, shit wrestler. There's no possible way you can get that from an Oscar match.
No, yeah, absolutely. I don't. It's just Goldberg being Goldberg. That's all I could say. But like, I just said that whole like, because no one's allowed to beat my record. But I stand by that with wrestling. Like, I think certain records are like made to be broken. Like, as we always say that, like, recently with John Cena doing Ric Flair's record, and that's why I brought up a good few weeks ago now about the whole potential Randy Orton's record being broken for youngest world heavyweight champ in WWE. So, like as you said, rather than just being a sour, pissy old man, sure, maybe WWE were being like backstage, being like, "Oh yeah, we can break Goldberg's record." Like we seen it with oh, was it New Day that beat Legion of Doom's record? I think for the tag team championship reign. Um, I can't remember if it was or not. I think it was,
Are
and
they the
they,
longest reigning tag champs?
yeah, I believe so. It was that one in 2015 going into 16, and then they beat the record, and I think like a week later the bar beat them. Um,
Oh, right.
yeah, that one. So like that's the thing though. Like, whether or not you think WWE being petty, that's I don't I don't sit in the boardroom. I can't tell you if they are or not. But at the end of the day, it's just I should be happy for the talent that's on the screen that they're getting something massive out of it. Asuka's undefeated streak was incredible. It shouldn't have ended at Mania to Charlotte. Just saying that pissed me. That entire Mania, apart from the opening match between Balor, Miz, and Rollins, pissed me off. That's the only match I loved. That whole Mania, I hated. um, um. Anyway, enough about WrestleMania 34. I, Asuka is just, I just said, she would run absolute circles around Goldberg, and she would also not be puffed out, whereas Goldberg would be puffed out after the last first 10 seconds of it. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not even so much the him being pissed off at WWE because we know what they do like. And to be fair, after the way he was treated at Saturday Night's main event, I would still be pissed as well.
Yeah.
So him being pissed at WWE is fair. It's his weird just like hatred of Asuka that I absolutely can't stand about him. And again, his like such disrespectful comments of just referring to as some girl. And like some girl, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, absolutely going to be in the Hall of Fame. Asuka, is that who you're talking about? Like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I never, well, one of the many reasons I never liked Goldberg. Um,
Appreciate
and yeah, I was telling Rue and Stu off camera that somebody in my live chat decided to come into my live and was like, "Oh, I heard that Goldberg is like one of the greatest of all time." And I am the wrong person to say that sentence to. And if you listen to this podcast, you would know that, and Rue and Stu know that very well.
Yeah, I'm on
Um,
your side.
like it's ridiculous. I never got behind Goldberg, even when he came back in like 2017 with the feud with Brock. I as shocking as it was when he beat Brock immediately, it shortly after I just didn't care.
Yeah, yeah. I was said it was a case of the match happened, and I went, "Holy shit!" And then after that, everything after that, I went, "Holy shit!" again, but holy shit, that was bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, not a fan.
And that was the Survivor Series in Toronto, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
was, yes.
So I didn't get the chance to go to that event. So I'm watching it at home and I see that happen. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm glad I didn't make my mom pay tickets for this because she likes Goldberg and she would have went there for Goldberg just to see him in how long was that match? Like a minute something?
I don't even know if it was. I don't even know if it was that. Actually, that's a good point. How long was that match? The other thing though, I would say about that Survivor season, the one other thing I can remember it for, fortunately you missed out on was seeing Shane McMahon get knocked out. That was quite funny.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Um, but yeah, that is going to do it for us for the headlines in pro wrestling this week. I feel like this was a long episode that went by really quick.
It did, yeah. Actually, I
Um,
thought that as well. Yes, you're quite by a minute, just under a minute and a half for
oh
Goldberg and
wow.
Brock.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good investment to not go to that show. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us for the headlines of the week in pro wrestling. Let us know your thoughts on everything we talked about today. We always love hearing you guys' opinions. You guys are just as big of the show as we are. So make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify. You can also let me know on the Kayfabe Central website. I have a group community section there, and I started doing some stuff with it and just never promoted it for some reason. But yeah, I have a group community section over there where you can like leave me, questions, whether it be like personal wrestling opinions I have, and I will answer them on the Kayfabe Central website. So if that is something you're interested in, then go ahead and check that out. That is also in the description below. Check out my TikTok page as well. I do live watch-alongs for the weekly shows. I'm going to be doing a live watch-along tonight for NXT Halloween Havoc. So I'll be live for that at 8 o'clock, not 8 o'clock. That'll be an hour after the show starts. I'll be live at 7 o'clock Eastern for the NXT Halloween Havoc watch along, and also do watch along for like other PLEs as well. So make sure you guys follow me on TikTok. Also go follow Root on Wrestling on TikTok and YouTube as well. He makes some amazing content, as well as our good friend Stu World Order. He also makes some great content. He is probably at the moment probably getting his ass whooped at a wrestling show. So yeah, good luck to Stu over there. We always miss Stu on the headlines when he's not able to join us. So make sure you guys go show him some love as well on TikTok and YouTube. But with that being said, I will see you guys for the NXT Halloween Havoc post-show review. I will do that tonight because I have no choice because I have to be at Destiny Wrestling tomorrow. So I will be doing the NXT Halloween Havoc post-show review tonight. And until then, I will see you guys there. Take it easy.